Hello everyone, welcome back to Todat News K-Wave. When JIKOOK's name was mentioned, the camera captured JM appearing calm on the surface. There was no verbal response, no exaggerated laughter, no flashy gestures. But that's precisely where his uniqueness lies. His facial expression changed for a split second, his breathing seemed slightly different, and his body seemed to respond before his mind could even formulate a reaction. To some, this might be considered a coincidence or a trivial matter. But to fans who have been following the dynamics for a long time, small details like this feel significant. In the entertainment world, especially under the almost constant spotlight, idols are highly trained to control their expressions. Smiles, gazes, and even their stances are often professional habits. Therefore, when a reaction doesn't seem entirely controlled, the public's attention is automatically drawn to it, not because they want to exaggerate, but because such honest moments are rare. And when they do, they feel authentic. JM is known for being expressive, warm, and not hesitant to show his feelings through body language. But in this moment, it was his silence that spoke volumes. There was a small pause before he returned to a neutral expression, as if he realized the camera was there and quickly retracted whatever had escaped. The pause was brief, but enough to spark 1,000 interpretations. Fans began connecting this moment to previous interactions, to their long history together, to the way he typically reacted to other topics. What made this moment even more interesting was the context. The name JIKOOK wasn't just a random word. For the fandom, it carried layers of meaning, memories, and long discussions that had been repeated over time. So when the name was mentioned and JM reacted like that, it was natural for many to feel there was something behind it. Not as a claim of absolute truth, but as a space for speculation that always lives in the fan community. Nonverbal reactions are often more telling than words. A slight stiffening of the face, a change in breathing, or a shift in body posture can be a spontaneous reflection of a sudden emotion. In communication psychology, these subtleties are often considered subconscious responses. Of course, we can't and shouldn't conclude everything from just one moment. But the appeal lies in the possibilities themselves. Fans don't just watch one clip and stop. They compare it to other moments, to JM's reactions when different topics are mentioned, to the way he laughs freely in other situations, to his composure in various interviews. From these comparisons, a narrative emerges that this reaction feels different. Shorter, more restrained, and perhaps more personal. Again, this isn't about confirming anything, but about sensing a difference in energy. Interestingly, JM doesn't try to overcorrect or cover up the moment. He continues his activity, remaining professional, remaining calm. This attitude is precisely what makes people even more transfixed. It's as if he knows that whatever just happened was captured on camera, and the only option is to let it pass. In that silence, fans find space to read, interpret, and feel. This title works because it relies on contrast. There are no words, but there is meaning. There is no statement, but there is a reaction. This contrast is what makes people curious and want to see the moment for themselves. Does his reaction really say a lot? Or are we just too eager to find the story behind it? The questions kept the discussion going, the comments coming, and the video replaying. Ultimately, moments like this demonstrate the power of small details in fandom. It's not always about big events or explicit confessions, but about brief snippets that feel human. JM, in that moment, seemed not just an idol on stage, but someone reacting spontaneously to a word that held a certain weight for him. And perhaps that's where his greatest appeal lies. Without words, without clarification, that reaction became the subject of a lively discussion. He didn't officially confirm anything, nor did he deny it. He was simply there, for one brief moment, letting his expression speak for itself before returning to his professional role. For fans, that was enough to make them feel like they were witnessing something real, something honest, even if only for a moment. JM didn't say anything flushed-faced, but his reaction said a lot. When JIKOOK was mentioned, isn't just a title, but a reflection of how fandom reads the idol world. Silence doesn't mean empty, and small reactions can carry great meaning, at least in the eyes of those who pay close attention. When JIKOOK's name was mentioned, JM didn't say a word. No spontaneous comment, no forced laugh, no verbal reaction that could be instantly quoted or made into a headline. But the camera captured something else. Something subtler, briefer, and perhaps more honest. A small change in expression, the way he inhaled, or the way his body reacted before returning to its original position. In a world filled with scripts and self-control, moments like these are striking precisely because of their simplicity. Silence is often mistaken for absence. However, in many contexts, silence is actually full of meaning, especially for someone who lives in the public spotlight like JM. Every movement, every look, every pause has the potential to be interpreted. So when he chose not to say anything, attention automatically shifted to his body language. And that's where many fans felt they saw something different. JM's reaction in that moment wasn't dramatic. It wasn't overdone. In fact, it could have been missed if not paid close attention. But for those who have long followed his journey, interactions, and small habits, even the slightest change felt significant. There's a sense that this reaction wasn't just an empty reflex, but rather a spontaneous response to a word that carries a certain weight. The name JIKOOK, for the fandom, isn't just a combination of letters. It symbolizes a long history, shared moments, and never-ending discussions. What's interesting is how quickly this reaction appears and disappears. It's as if JM realizes something has escaped his control, then quickly reverts to his usual neutral expression. This brief transition is precisely what attracts attention. Many wonder, was it a subconscious reaction? Was it a reflection of an unplanned feeling? Or was it simply a coincidence caught on camera at a sensitive time? In nonverbal communication, the body often speaks faster than the mind. Faces can change before someone can form words. Breaths can hold before logic takes over. That's what makes this moment feel honest to some fans. Not because it confirms something, but because it feels human. Imperfect, not fully controlled, and therefore feels real. The title also reflects the way the fandom interacts with content. They don't just watch, but observe. They don't just hear, but feel. A single clip can be replayed countless times, compared to other moments, analyzed alongside JM's reactions in different situations. From there, one gets the impression that this reaction has a different energy. It's calmer yet heavier, shorter yet more impactful. No grand claims can be made from a single moment, and many fans are aware of that. Yet, it's precisely this uncertainty that keeps the discussion alive. JM's reaction doesn't provide answers, but it does spark questions. And those questions, for the fandom, are often more interesting than definitive answers. They create space for discussion, theories, and interpretations that continue to evolve over time. It's also interesting how JM himself doesn't follow up the moment with any clarification. He doesn't try to laugh it off, deflect, or explicitly affirm anything. He simply continues, as if whatever happened was a small part of a larger plot. This attitude can be read as professionalism, or it can also be read as an acceptance that not everything needs to be explained. And for many fans, that calmness actually adds depth to the meaning. JM says nothing flushed-faced, but his reaction says so much when JIKOOK is mentioned works because it relies on feelings, not facts. It invites the audience to see for themselves, to feel for themselves, and to decide for themselves what the moment means. Was it simply a spontaneous reaction with no particular meaning, or were there layers of emotions that surfaced? The title doesn't force a conclusion, it simply opens the door. In the spotlight-filled idol world, often the most memorable moments come from the small things. Not from big stages or long speeches, but from quiet moments captured by the camera without any planning. JM's reaction to JIKOOK's name was one of those moments. Short, silent, yet powerful enough to make many people stop and pay attention. In the end, perhaps there is no single truth to be drawn from this reaction. And perhaps there doesn't need to be. The value of this moment lies in how it was felt, not how it was proven. JM didn't say anything, but in that silence, many felt like they heard something. And as long as that feeling is there, the discussion will continue, the moment will continue to be remembered, and this title will continue to feel relevant. So that's the moment. No words, no explanations, just a reaction that spoke louder than anything that could have been said. Whether you see it as coincidence or something deeper, one thing's clear. Moments like this don't go unnoticed. Sometimes it's the quietest reactions that leave the biggest impact. If you felt it too, you're not alone. Let me know what you saw in that moment. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more moments that make us pause, rewind, and wonder. See you in the next one.